So in the movement assessment, basically what we do is kind of like 3 parts, and that we always say what movement we're about to test, why the movement is important, sometimes trying to like carry it over to whatever sport they play, and then either, we instruct it, and how we instruct it really teaches us how they learn. So it's either I'm just going to be more verbal, I'm going to be more tactile, but this is the situation that we really get to learn how this athlete picks cues up. So first movement we always do is our ability to stabilize. So we always say, okay, our first test is our test for our core strength. And we say, okay, when you're an athlete, you don't crunch. Your core's job is to help transfer force. So we're going to teach you how to get that feeling of stabilization, and then we're going to teach you how it carries over to whatever sport you play. So, Jules, we're going to lay on the floor together. So in this movement, I'm always going to kind of do it with them. So we're going to lay down. We're going to back on the floor. From here, we're going to put our hands up against the wall. I want us to raise our feet up, so we're making a pretty right angle. Now I want you to push the floor away as you dig your back down into the floor. So in this position, you're going to tell the athlete, so before she even moves, you're going to tell her, dig your back into my hand. So in that position, she's like, hopefully she's able to do that. You're going to say, push into my hand, don't let my hand slip. From here, she's going to drop the heel down and then come up. Drop the heel down and come up. And then oftentimes you'll see that as she drops this foot down, the other foot moves because she's trying to get stability through her hips. So instead, you're going to say, hey, don't let your hand touch me. Your other leg touch me. Good. Come up, and again, come up. Normally when I see them shaking, I'm like, great. I'm like, great. And then I'm like, all right, pop up. So then I always tell them, lay on the floor. This is great to help you feel your core. But you don't lay on the floor in your sport. So this isn't going to help your core become stronger. Remember, your core's job is to help transfer force. So we're going to get your core strong in movement. So every time we squat, press, all the movements we do today, I'm going to remind you and say, hey, find that dead bug position, or brace your belly as if you're about to receive a punch. And from there, they kind of understand, okay, this is core. Sometimes when they're laying floor, I'm like, this is a new feeling for you. They're like, yes. With this, Jules is going to kind of help me too, if there's anything that we kind of see a lot and how we would correct it. So with the dead bug, the only thing that we see sometimes is like they literally just, they cannot push their belly down. I'm not going to harp on it. The whole point of this is a test. So I'm not here to correct it. I'm here to kind of be like, okay, none of those worked. So when we go and take a note, it's a scale of 1 to 10. That person is a solid 1. But that's kind of how we understand, okay, do they understand, can their body physically get into that stabilization position? And then from there, that helps us know they're physically capable of it. Now we have to teach them how to feel that position and other things that we do. Hey, you're a basketball player. Even though your sport is a lot of upper body, all of your power is produced from your lower body. So that means you got to get your lower body strong. So the movement we're going to go over today is your squat. I always like to see their squat before I can kind of I always say, make it a little more efficient. So, Jules, give you that squat. Let me see your squat. Like the squat that we always see. Okay. I have a couple tricks for you to make it a little bit better. Seriously, that's all. You're like, all right, cool. I got a couple tricks for you to make it a little bit better. Jules, this was the one I always kind of still do together with them because I'm watching if she's really watching me, if she's watching what my feet are. Sometimes an athlete will just stare and watch you and won't do it with you. And then you're like, okay. Or sometimes the athlete will literally just be looking at my eyeballs and I can tell that she just wants to listen. Or if she's doing it with me, she's going to be more visual. So, Jules, we're going to get our feet out, a little wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to turn your toes slightly out. From here, I want you to find your heels, find your toes, and come down and find the middle of your foot. Because you got a whole foot, we got to learn how to use it. From here, to keep that midfoot position, I want you to think about having claws for your feet, and you're going to grip the floor nice and hard. From here, I want you to think about driving your knees forward and out where your toes are as you sit your butt straight down. Let's try it. Good job. And then normally it's like, meh. And you're like, all right, I got a couple tricks for you. We always still do this just because it kind of, honestly, this is my favorite part because the parents are just like,
The squat one's my favorite.
the squat is my favorite. Because you see the parents are like, whoa, that's a miracle. Like, so you're like, all right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put these plates on the floor. And I want you to elevate your heels just a little bit with them. Because in doing that, it's going to help you stay in the middle of your foot a little bit. You saw the athlete go to your heels, you kept going your heels a little bit, so this is going to help you stay in the middle of your foot. From here, I'm going to give you this plate, and we're going to hold it out in front of you. Because when you do, it forces you to stabilize your core. I'm like, that's my little trick. And they're always like, dig your toes in the floor, belly tight. From here, I want to see some body control. So big breath. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's do it. So turn those toes slightly out. Always like cue them a little bit to get in the position. Belly super tight. All right, let's see some control. And then up. All right, not bad at all. Let's do it again. And when we do this, can you really think about driving your knees out so we can make some room for your hips as you sit down? Drive those knees out. Perfect. And then come up. Okay, good. So let's try this again. But this is you're going to like look through this little eye hole, okay? You need to look through it the entire time. Let's try it. 2, 3, and then up. Beautiful. One more time. Give me a little more slow on the way up. 2, 3, and then up. Beautiful. Great job. What I was saying before that is that even if the athlete isn't making it perfect, even though normally you can fix it to some extent, this really in this moment kind of helps me understand what tool I'm going to use out there. So if it's not great still, I'm like, okay, girl needs to step on the platform and do a plate hold, and that will be our movement. Or if you're like, wow, she's killing it, we're going to do kettlebell bottom up. Very rarely would be like front squat, but normally it's going to be kettlebell for the most part. Okay, so after the squat, I'm going to say, all right, awesome. Now the next movement we're going to do is we're going to learn how to perform a hinge movement. And this is really important because this is like the base of a lot of athletic movement. So every time you jump, every time you sprint, you perform some type of hip hinge. So today, we're going to learn that movement by doing what's called an RDL. So now in this one, I'm just going to demonstrate it to her. So I was going to say, okay, because it kind of teaches me if she can actually understand what I'm saying or not. And I'll explain to you after what we'll see. So I'm going to say, okay, you're going to get your feet closer than your squat. Find the middle of your foot. From here, I want you to think about shoulder blades back and down, like you have a newspaper underneath your armpits. You got to hold your newspapers down. Soft knees. Now all you're going to do is think about pushing your butt back, like you got to shut a door with it. You're going to push your butt back, keep going, till you stop about mid-shin. You're going to pause, feel a big stretch in the back of your foot, then big push to stand. Soft knees. Hinge those hips back, pause, big push. So, for an athlete that is not visual, she's just gonna do this. Now what? She's like she just like nothing was processed. And I'm like, you're not visual. So sometimes you're gonna still kind of give them a little coach, like, all right, let's try it, Jewel. Soft knees, armpits. Get those newspapers down. All right, let's do it. Hinge those hips back. That was even better than we normally say.
I like literally tried to do something I saw earlier this week.
I feel like
trying.
I feel like this is oh yeah. There we go. Like, okay, let's do it again and pause though for me. Okay, so soft knees, shut that door with your butt, and pause. All right, so don't lose those newspapers. Remember newspapers? So maybe I hit her. Okay, so maybe she's more tactile. Great. Now big push to stand. Archels. Let's do it again. But when you do it, make this one squatty. So another time we'll see an athlete that just thinks everything is a squat. All right, let's get it. Soft knees, hinge those hips back. In this position, say, all right, pause. All right, now push your knees back so they're behind your hands. Your toes will normally come up. You say, all right, nope, never dig your toes down. You feel the back of your legs. Big push, stand. Awesome. Let's try it one more time. Let's see if you can hit it. This time I might not cue her. I'm going to see if she has any type of like ability to recreate the movement, or she's kind of hanging around, and then big push. So in that's how I can understand, can she repeat the movement? Does she need a lot of coaching in that moment? In that, she's probably going to get only like a 2. If she's able to like 2 cues and hit it, all right, girl's a 3, 4. So that kind of allows us to understand how much coaching does this girl need, what is her tier. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now we have to learn how to produce force away from us. And we're going to do that through what's called a half kneeling press. So are you right-handed or left-handed?
Righty.
Lovely, as am I. So that means you and I are going to start with our left hand because it's a little weaker, so we have to put a little more effort into it. So in a half kneeling press, we're going to come up to the wall. So this one, I kind of like her to try to do it with me. From here, we're going to take one step down with our left foot. Our back knee is in the floor. Our back toe is digging into the floor. And then from here, I want you to think about squeeze your butt and bring it underneath you. Other foot goes down so that we're making a pretty right angle. Right hand against the wall. Push that wall away from you. From here, you're going to grab your plate. Now all I want you to do is punch the sky and finish so you can't see your plate. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's try that again. Okay, can we bring this back knee a little closer to the wall? Awesome. From here, can you think about doing like a little mini crunch right now? Great. Now think about punching up. Great. Now let's keep this a little bit closer. Perfect. Let's bring it back down. Let's see if we can find that position again. Big push up. Okay. Which might happen. So that way, right, what would we score? Probably like a 2 in that. All right, she can get into the position. She's physically capable of it. Great job. Awesome. Perfect. And then one more. A lot of times we'll see their hips like start to turn towards you, towards me. Like, okay, now try to keep your hips square to the wall. All right, bring it back down. Perfect. All right, now let's switch arms and legs. I always like to stand on the side because it helps me see. One, I won't say anything time, and I'll just see if she can get into the position again.
Yeah.
And then if I kind of see a not great one, I'm like, all right, Jules, don't forget, try to square her hips up. Great job. Big punch. Great, back down. And then one more. Fantastic. So during this, we're going back to our notebook. We're taking notes on this. That was good. End of the day, I'm trying to figure out, can she pick up cues? What type of cues are working for her? And is she able to repeat a movement, or do I have to keep cueing her? Or can I just stop and can she find that movement again? Does she have that body awareness? Okay, so after that, I'm gonna say, great, now that we know how to produce force away from us, now we have to learn how to produce force toward us. So we're gonna do this through a lawnmower row. So we're gonna grab our plate again. We're gonna start with our left hand. So to start this movement, we're gonna get set in that hinge position that we already worked on. So feet underneath our hips, newspapers down, soft knees. Now we're gonna hinge our hips back. Good, so remember, let's push our butt back towards the wall. Think about getting your back flat like a tabletop. Great. Now from here, I want you to think there's someone behind you really don't like, you're gonna elbow them hard. I always put it down and I watch them. Like, okay, great. Let's think about a lot of times, Jules just naturally knows how to get engaged. Yeah, we're gonna be like, okay, can we get our shoulder blades back and puff out your chest? Great. And now from here, can you think about keeping your elbows super close as you pull? And that still normally doesn't happen. Normally you'll see like this, and you're like, okay. Try it again. Puff out your chest as you pull, and then pull. I normally call it on that. I'm like, okay, great. Let's switch arms because they just, it's hard. They have no awareness of their lats.
Yeah.
And I normally am like, I don't really need to keep doing this.
That's a body muscle.
Exactly. Yes. So let's hit it again. Okay, good. Let's try it again. Remember, keep your elbows super close. Now I'm making you move behind her. Try to hit me with your elbow. Great. And again. Perfect. Great job. Then I'm going to write it down.
Do you have any athletes that usually like, I guess this is lighter, but like when they're coming back down, they kind of just like drop?
Oh, always.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally it's always drop. There's not a lot of engagement ever. So yeah, like all the time. Great. I always say, all right, our next test is one of my favorite tests because it's our test for relative strength. So I always tell my athletes I have 2 jobs. My first job is to make you absolutely strong. I say, hey Jules, how much can you squat? They're like, so true. My second job is to make you relatively strong. That means strong relative to how much you weigh. And that's pretty important because you play a body weight sport. So that means doing things like push-ups and pull-ups, which we will do eventually, because normally at this point you just see a look of fear and dread in their eyes, and they're like, I can't do that. And you're like, don't worry, not many girls come in here being able to do that. Instead, all we're gonna do is just lower ourselves in a push-up because it helps teach me a couple things. So in this one, I like to kind of walk them through it together, have them watch me, then they do it. So we're gonna get started by getting into a high plank together. So in this position, I like to say, get stacked. back. So I want your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and your belly tight like you're in a dead bug position. From here, why don't you watch me first? I want you to think about driving your elbows back by your ribs as your shoulders come slightly forward and you slowly move your body down towards the floor like a plank. And that's it. Let's try it. That's a lot. Okay, not bad at all. Let's come up. Let's try it again. So the biggest thing that I'm looking for, can they stabilize this? Because this is really important. They have any type of scap stability. So a lot of times, like even if this is tight, you'll just see like this wings, yeah.
Okay.
And so for me, that tells me, okay, we really have to work on our ability to pull. This is really what I'm looking at here. A lot of times if you have an athlete that just like clearly cannot do it from a high plank, you're saying, all right, let's get in a high plank. Let's drop to our knees. Same thing. I'm looking to see if we have any ability to stabilize. So she goes to her knee, and I'm gonna say, all right, Jules, pretend you have a string between your hands. You have to pull that string apart. Now slowly lower. And if I'm still kind of seeing not a lot of engagement, that's it. Cool. I got my answer. I'm not gonna make her feel like a loser, but I'm also going to be able to kind of be aware of what is her relative strength, what are certain areas of her body that I really need to focus on.
And the scaps, like being disengaged, is probably the most
Frequent thing
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
ever say.
yeah.
All right, we got one last test, and this is our test of balance, and it helps me see your different leg strength.
We're getting so nervous.
So I have that balance. Well, that's why you're here. All right, so we're gonna do this one together. We're gonna get set with our feet underneath our hips. From here, we're gonna take one step back with our left foot. So that our back knee is directly underneath our hip. Our back heel is up in the sky. From here, I want you to think about squeezing your butt. Take a big step forward with your other foot. Now all we're gonna do is slowly lower straight down. And we're gonna hang out down here. Now in this position, we wanna be in a pretty right angle. So I want your knee under your hip, which is under your shoulder, and your other foot, I want your knee in line with your ankle. From here, we're gonna think squeeze my butt, chest facing forward, because a lot of times they do this. And now think from here, let's push up with both legs. That was a great example. So, okay, let's come back down. So, all right, so think, where the parents are there, chest facing your parent. I always have them pause, and I'm gonna stand behind them. What Jules did was a great demonstration of what we see a lot. They have no glute control. You see this kind of like shift, and that tells me, okay, that's what we did. I forget what athlete you and I did together. That was like, hey, we really need to work on her glute strength. Yeah, so we're gonna come back down. So I'm always gonna look for that, exactly. Or I'm gonna see, can they keep their weight balance? All right, Jules, let's try to push this knee back. All right, now let's stand. Don't let this knee hit me as you stand. All right, good. Let's do one more, and as you come down, don't let this knee hit me. Okay, so much better. Good. Now push to stand. All right, now let's switch legs. I'm gonna normally stop talking here, and I see if they can find that position. Because they're not gonna hurt themselves, and I'm like, all right, what are they doing? All right, great. Stop. Let's look at our feet. What can we fix? Okay, let's now stand. Great, come back down. All right, in this position, let's come back down, let's pause. Let's think about squeezing our back butt cheek nice and hard. Now from here, again, I'm gonna walk behind her, watch what's going on. Sometimes you'll see that one side of her body literally is so much stronger. This one will stand up great. And you're like, wow, okay, that glute normally needs a little work. Come back down, pause, and then up. Beautiful. You're done. That wasn't that bad. Great. So from that info, then we can go out there and we're gonna teach her the hang clean. And because one that kind of gets her, that's normally their favorite in their assessment. And then from there, by looking at all of this assessment, now I understand what implements we're gonna use out there and how I'm best gonna coach her. Does she need me cueing her the entire time? Does she need me like literally jumping with her when we That happens a lot. I'm like, hey, jump and catch. And they're like, oh. And you're like, okay. So that's all the information that we gather here. What questions do you have with that stuff?
Perfect. Okay, so in their assessment, after we put their shoes on, we always kind of bring them out and have them learn the hang clean. So right before they do that, they always look a little nervous and intimidated. So I always like to have them like stand and look at the board, and I always say, hey, see all the names on that board? Like, guess what? Not a single one of these girls knew how to do any of these movements until we came in and we taught them. I was like, so literally every single girl starts in the same place as you. They feel a little bit better. I always, when I'm putting them on a platform, I'm trying my best to kind of keep them a little bit separate so they don't feel like all eyes are on them.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I'm cheering them on. I love it when another, like if there's someone right here, is cheering them on too. Because they're really nervous. They're so nervous this first time that they're doing it. So I love it when everyone tries to keep them encouraged, keep them engaged. You know, they've never done this before, let alone like, it's like you're like on display. So when we go over the hang clean, I always say, okay, we're gonna learn the hang clean today. Sometimes I explain why we're gonna learn, and like the hang clean makes you not only stronger, more powerful, but it's like it teaches you how to accelerate, change direction, decelerate, and that's like the definition of an athlete. I'm like, yay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to learn the hang clean. So first I'm gonna show you the hang clean, then I'm gonna teach it to you. So this is what it will look like eventually. All we're gonna do today, normally they have a look of all we're going to do today is a jump shrug, a jump shrug catch, and then a front squat. And then they still look scared, so they say, don't worry, I'm going to teach that to you even more. Come on onto the platform. So I have them walk up to the bar. This is when I teach them how to grab the bar. So Jules, we're going to grab the bar, about thumbs width away from where those lines start, and then we're going to stand up with it. Now I introduce them to the hooker. All right, so now we're going to wrap our thumbs around the bar. And we're going to put our thumbs over our fingers over our thumbs. So this is called the hooker. This is the strongest grip you can have. Okay, other way though. So you want your thumbs around and fingers over. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, from here, knuckles down, shoulder blades back, soft knees. Now all I want to do right now is jump and then shrug. And this actually is where I learned everything about the athlete, teaching them to jump shrug. Do they have natural coordination of jumping and shrugging up?
Yeah.
Now we're going to learn the hang clean real easy, or if they did what Jules did, it's not going to be that easy. Okay, let's try it again. Let's take out loose arms. Jump, then shrug. Shrug up towards your ears. Oh, so much better. Great. One more time. Like, awesome. You feel that bar kind of got weightless there? Yeah. Great job. All right, so now we have to learn where the bar's going to finish. So we're going to put the bar up here, right on our shoulders. Put it right out there. Yeah. Okay, great. So now we're actually going to drive your elbows up towards me and let that bar sit on your shoulders. Perfect. Shrug up into the bar, so the bar sitting here. Now you're going to teach them how to front squat because they need to know where they finish. So let's get our feet a little bit wider. Great. Drive your elbows up towards me. We should know how to squat a little bit by now. Just went over it with them. Now remember, let's drive those knees forward and out so your butt straight down. Keep going, keep going. Okay, good. Come up. Let's do it again. And now, again, I'm going to know what type of learner my athlete is. Let's think about your elbows being laser pointers. They have a point at me this entire time. Go for it. And then come up. All right, not bad at all. I'm going to leave it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like really not great. I'm like, okay, we're going to step off the platform. We're going to do it. But I'm not trying to make her squat beautiful in this moment. I'm just trying to have her learn. This is like, now it'd be great. You basically know how to do it already. Let's learn how to put it together. Let's get our feet a little bit closer. Soft knees. We see a jump shrug. Great. We're going to do it again, but this time at the top of the shrug, you're going to think about bringing your elbows back and around the bar super fast as you jump your feet out and catch. So let's do the jump shrug first. Jump shrug. Great job. Now jump shrug, catch. Good job. Elbows to the sky. There you go. And now let's sit all the way down. Good, and then come up. Hey, not bad at all. Good job. Put it back down. All right, we're going to do it again, but this time, I want you to pretend that you're trying to rip your shirt off with your bar, okay? So try jump shrug. Jump shrug catch. There you go. Perfect. Elbows up, and now let's try to sit. Great. If it's still looking really not great, like, okay, let's step off the platform. And when we do this, I want you to think that your logo has to face me this entire time. Keep going. Drive your elbows towards me, I might literally like do this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now we're going to back up. Great job. Great job. Now, I said we put some weight on the bar. What do you think? Hell yeah. So almost always you're going to start with big buys, but you'll be able to tell. Like, girl, you're going to be able to tell at this moment kind of what they need. But almost always going to start with big buys. Like, all right, let's start with big buys. I'm going to grab a plate. She's going to grab a plate. We're going to do it together since we're learning. Great. We're going to slide it on. Sometimes that's the hardest part for them. Okay, so now when we have plates on, we have to learn how to pick it up. This part, I normally coach them through unless they're so visual. So I'm gonna say, all right, let's walk up to the bar. And with the bar, they'll have their weightlifting shoes on where that first Velcro is. We're gonna pretend we have it. So think thumbs width away from your legs, soft knees, hinge your hips back. Good, now sit down towards the bar. Let me see your logo. Knuckles down. Good, big proud chest. Now big push to stand. Awesome, don't forget the hooker. That was so good. That's such a great, I'm so impressed. Okay, let me see a jump shrug. Great, now we're doing it again. Remember, we're gonna rip your shirt off. Jump shrug, catch. There you go, good. Elbows to the sky. Now let's sit all the way down. Good, and then come up. Great job. Put it back down. That was so good. How did it feel? Remember the first one, they're like, you want to do it again? I'm like, okay. And then as you keep going, sometimes we'll add weight, sometimes you will not add weight. Normally keep them on for like 5 to 8 minutes, depending.
Yeah.
Then we take them off, then we put them through rest. But this is how we teach them the hang clean, and this is how they kind of understand that they have to be coached through these lifts. Like this is the most important part. Like they're learning that this is, like they see how the whole thing is run. This actually is my favorite part of the assessment. Because they normally come out of their shell at the end of it when it's like, they hit their weight and they're like, ah, you're lucky. It was like, ah, that's my favorite. Yeah. This part and teaching them this one. Yeah, also my favorite.
This is Relentless Athletics, bringing the female athlete her best performance through science. If you like this video, be sure to like and share it. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more science on female athlete development, check out our website at relentlessathleticsllc.com.